This is Listening with Franklin Livingston. And our guest is DG.
Yeah. Oh my, that's. I hope he's doing well now. That previous boss of
It's
yours.
been more than it wasn't boss, but I'm calling boss because he was senior than me.
Mm-hmm.
He told me how to stock the shelves, and maybe he taught me how to ride a forklift. I was
Mhm.
really happy and take pictures and all, which I lost, and then it wasn't great.
What's his? That's a special skill to maneuver a forklift.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But going back to that topic where you said you were like at some points in your career before you would go against the boss or like
Question.
question his decisions or this and that. I also do that because among the Filipinos, I think I'm one, if not, yeah, I'm one of the most verbal about like, hey, like this and like that. But I have a technique. I would just say like in text, like, is it possible to do like this and like that rather than, hey, do this and do that. But I've been lucky because of course it all depends on the boss and how he or she would have want someone to like contradict him or her. But yeah, so far, despite my my questions and everything to my boss about this or that or hey, can I do that? So far, I've been so far lucky. So
That's
hopefully
great.
that-
Yeah, because I think as you said,
it depends, yeah, on how
Uh,
crazy they have, or if they have too much on their plate. Of course, they would let go of
Mhm.
whatever will bring them some peace. Of course, and that's very natural.
A lot of times it might come across as an attack and say, so you think the way I'm doing it is not.
And yes,
You
unfortunately,
question me who have spent 10 years in this
they
organization.
take offense or like
Yeah.
get irritated, even if by law, say for example, we have, I really love that here in the States, like here in New York, at least you have like itemized like do's and don'ts, like
Mm.
labor wise, right? If you have like before, I would question about something like sick leaves and everything, and the HR would say, no, like this and like that. I was disappointed that just because I'm an immigrant, they would assume that I don't know the rules.
Mm.
But nowadays you have it's easy.
Why? They
Everything
thought
is-
you were a hick.
you have,
You don't know how to read or what?
no, it's not about reading or something, but it's like I feel taken advantage of if, say, for example, I ask for like a sick leave. Oh, you're not like this and like that. But right now they should think twice because it's easily Googleable. Like, what is the rules for this and that? And even if they question you, and if they continuously question you, you could always find help or assistance from like attorney general or like this and like that. It's quite what's this, like a very good idea that here in America you could actually contact, like, now I'm a citizen, so you can contact and write to the senators and everything and ask for their help. And I wish that would have been the same scenario in the Philippines, but unfortunately, even if I'm what's this, because of my color, I'm a new immigrant and everything, I feel like I have more rights here
Mm.
than when I was in the Philippines, and that is yeah, that is a sad thing for me because there were times in the Philippines when I'm a citizen of the Philippines, but I feel like I'm a second-hand citizen ahead of like the foreigners, or sometimes, when they see like, oh, they're white, they're given preference.
Mhm.
Did you experience that in like Pakistan? Because
In Pakistan, no, because I think the issue with Pakistan was, which probably became crazy after 2001.
Mhm.
There might still be a hatred toward American or white people, right?
Oh, that's
Because
okay. Because of the war.
war on terror, which really killed a lot of people.
Yes.
And it wasn't killing. I think the thing is because it's very closer to it's like on the ground when you see drones killing people and civilians being killed and all that. So
Mhm.
because the U.S. came across as invader,
Okay,
as
someone that
someone
interferes with local politics, local
someone who
issues.
doesn't care about humanity
Oh.
and or doesn't or for own benefit doesn't really make a difference between children and women.
Mm.
Like for example, now the war in Gaza,
Mhm.
the Palestine-Israel
Yes.
conflict, right? So when local people view it and they think we're helpless, they would question why can't the people who fund, because in the end of the day, the idea is tax
Mhm.
payers fund these wars,
Mhm.
right? So why can't they stand up for humanity and all? Or they see some sort of conflict between U.S. being the emblem of human rights versus the wars and the damage these wars
Mhm.
do to the local people in like Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yes.
So it's very complicated. So I think
Yeah,
that's why it's not safe. I think it's okay to certain, like you were talking about 5-star hotels and stuff.
Mhm.
It's maybe okay for tourists to go there, but in general, when people have that much rage against the West,
Mhm.
it's not
It's
wise to.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have also that problem in some areas, in the Philippines. But going back to that, yeah, I used to work in Kuwait, and because like in the Iraqi war before, U.S. helped Kuwait, so the Kuwaitis are actually very appreciable of America,
The US,
especially.
yeah.
So they have like a
Kuwait and
special
Saudi
service.
Arabia.
No, special service, a special
Treatment.
treatment, special service. There you go, James Bond special.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a different mindset. Yeah, with the but also you have to understand at a government level, things are usually different than a grassroots level.
Yeah.
So,
I
for
could not
example,
comprehend that kind of
Yeah.
level.
Pakistani government or Pakistani higher ups, you'll get the same protocol if you want to use that term, respect and all that. But if you're just going as let's say, if you're a poor backpacker
Mm-hmm.
who's going to visit Pakistan
Mm-hmm.
and are poor
Mhm.
from, I don't know, doesn't matter in
Uh-huh.
the US, but
Mhm.
look like a white guy
Mhm.
who's vulnerable or a woman, then you should think twice.
And you need to be covered, right?
No.
Really?
Cover is
You're not
very
too
in the,
conservative?
not throughout the country. No. Have you seen the TV?
Not really. So
Okay.
I gotta
No,
get
the cities. Okay, here's another thing. Yeah, if you are in the, let's say you're in bigger cities,
Mm-hmm.
and you can wear whatever you or want to wear, but I think the same rule applies. Like, would you dress up like this and sit on a bus to Queens?
Oh, never.
Right? It's the same thing. Use your common sense. But if you're attending a party somewhere, that's fine. But I wouldn't wear a very ultra modern dress and get on a local bus.
Uh-huh.
I even saw that in Dubai, which is so interesting. So Dubai has this metro,
Mm-hmm.
which has 3 sections.
Okay.
It has first class.
Mm-hmm.
You buy a gold card
All
membership thing. Then they have a platinum or silver card,
Uh-huh.
which is some sort of business class. And then there's an economy class. Economy class usually has working class people traveling.
Okay.
And the reason I said Queens also, I once actually was in a bus. I don't know, I was doing somewhere on the subway and they said it was under construction someplace. And this is like a few years ago. We had to take bus. And I did not go to Queens very frequently. That was probably one experience which was really bad. And the bus was overly crowded and women were not comfortable. Like men were hovering. So in any country, and in Asian countries, actually, I didn't see that. Maybe they don't have that kind of population.
Sorry, where?
In Asian countries where I went,
Uh-huh.
for example, I have taken the metro or the subway, whatever they call it, in South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. It's not that crowded. Vietnam doesn't have that.
Not on the like during like
Rush hours?
Yeah.
I have only seen rush hour in Malaysia.
Oh, okay. The craziest for me is the one in India. I took the train.
India is overpopulated. I have
Yes, but it's like
been-
wow. I feared to be like a victim of a stampede going in, and oh my gosh, I could not breathe, and I'm tiny. Oh, you can get suffocated.
Do they have modern? These trains are like from British era. I don't know what city you went to. I've only seen on TV.
I went to Mumbai and then Goa and then Delhi and then Agra. That's where I had my nose pierced. To what's this? To portray as like a local because then you get discount when and then my friends dressed me up. I wore like heavy, how do you call that? Makeup,
Kajal
yeah,
type thing?
kajal, yes. Wore bindi and then wore my salwar kameez, parted
You
my hair.
disguised yourself.
Yes, and then they were all talking to me, and we were like in a group, and then, okay, like I
They
passed
shake
as
like
a
this?
local, yeah. I passed as a local, like in every touristy spots we went to. So yeah, but that was like an experience. Yeah, I like India because of its like rich. Everything is rich, like the colors, the aroma, the food. It's quite an experience, really. So yes, yeah, I love it. Like that they still wear the sari and everything.
I think there might be some
Areas, of course,
religious, yeah, I mean, younger generation that I see on the TV, they don't
Mhm.
really sorry.
Yes,
They probably
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
know how to
Yeah.
carry that. So,
Going back to that topic, where as long as you wear something appropriate for the location or wherever you are at. When I was in Kuwait, we were at the beach, okay, and then I was happy and everything, giggling with my colleagues and everything. All of a sudden, there was this two ladies wearing burqa, and we were laying on the beach, and then she stooped down to like push my head against the sand. So that's why I ask about like
women don't
conservative.
wear that?
No, there is very strict. No. I was like dressing appropriate, still covered.
It's
and
not like
everything.
Dubai. I think
No.
Okay.
It's still conservative. Next to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. Before we were
I've
different.
only actually exchanged what do we call it?
Transit.
Yeah, transit stop at Kuwait airport. Other than that, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But no, Pakistan, the thing is, first of all, I haven't been to a beach because I grew up in the mountains, first of all.
Yeah.
So,
But
when we were younger, the hottest day, I think, when people used to say, oh my God, it's so hot, used to be 76. Right, but it wasn't. Still, you could wear a suit, like as a man, right? So I haven't been to the south, where the beach might be, but I think the outfit. How to say that? So the city we grew up in, so there was a very touristy area where you can wear anything, even this thing.
What is the name?
I'll tell you
Okay.
later. Because locals will say he doesn't know how to pronounce it anymore, or my accent changed or whatever. And then
It's how do you call this? If you've lived for so long in a country, it does change.
It does change, yes.
Yeah, it does happen. So
and especially
You're
if you
not,
don't communicate or watch enough of the media.
it does happen. So
But that particular spot where people would come in summer from warm areas, because the south gets really warm, or the middle that's closer to the equator, and the northern part is more cool.
yeah, I've seen like beautiful pictures of like snow-capped mountains.
Yes, that's the region I come from.
Beautiful.
Now you know.
My gosh! Yeah.
So, but when you go into the villages, because they also have village life, these women at home might dress up or might dress in whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when they go out, they still are fully covered. But they are not like Pashtuns. They don't
Yeah, the
do
burqa.
the burqa.
Okay.
Even the Pashtun belt, the Pashtun province.
Mhm.
We still have province
Mhm.
because the Brits taught us.
Mm-hmm.
At the border of Afghanistan, the villages might be too conservative wearing burqa because they also have a shuttlecock burqa.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that in Time magazine and I haven't been there. But the cities, the university, if you walk into a university and if you see women, they won't be wearing that. It'll be as, they might be in jeans or shorts or whatever you. So it's a huge diversity there in that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Well, I felt like maybe in Kuwait I was discriminated because sometimes, in some countries, like if you're coming from this X country, you're kind of looked down. I mean, it happens. Like even here in America, when I was a traveling healthcare professional, there's still some form of discrimination. Like in all states where I practiced, there would still, like when I was in Oregon, they would always some what's this, war veterans would mistake me for being Vietnamese, and having had a war before, they were like very, oh my gosh, you're Vietnamese. I don't want to be touched by you. I don't want to be evaluated by you. Nothing at all. And then when I would try to explain to them, hey, I'm Filipino. I'm not like, they would immediately see me as like the enemy. And I said, you need this, hell, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, no, I would wait for the next healthcare professional. I said, that would take like probably 3 more months. I've just started here. That's fine. I don't want to be seen by you. That really happened. And then another time I was like with a, what's this, another patient. We were like talking. He was like walking with his walker. All of a sudden, he was triggered by something. Most of them have like PTSD, which, you cannot really blame them. It's the effect of the war. But then he pushed the walker so much so that I was so scared that without the walker, he could fall. And since I was like walking with him, I would be the one accountable. So there's this kind of like discrimination. And then there was also this elderly lady. She told me, why are you Filipinos here? I want an American healthcare worker. I said, the reason why we're here is because there's not enough healthcare workers. We wouldn't be like pushing ourselves here if not really needed. Before we come here, I told her, I educated her that, the local government would publish like, hey, in the newspaper ad or whatever, internet, whatever, we were looking for this worker, blah, blah, blah. After X amount of months, if they're still, they still couldn't find, they would look abroad, like from wherever country. So I tried to explain that to her, and later on she apologized. And then when I was in Arkansas, I went to this church, blah 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 blah, and then the member of the church member asked me, hey, so what do you do? I said, oh, I'm a healthcare worker. Oh, really? So in my profession, we have like the healthcare worker and then the healthcare worker assistant. She immediately thought I was an assistant, or assumed like, oh, so you're a healthcare assistant?
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm a healthcare worker, like this and like that.
Yeah.
And then came the what's this, the pastor. Oh, what do you do? The same thing. He would insist. He would ask me, "Oh, are you a healthcare assistant?" I said, "No, I'm." Yeah. And I'm like, and then in the workplace, there was a patient looking out. I tried to, oh, you're the patient. I introduced myself. I'm the healthcare professional. And then she was looking, oh no, I need the healthcare professional, not you. I said, no, I'm the only one here. So unfortunately, it's like that. And also here in New York, when I visited my cousin before, I took my niece to like the preschool. And then here came my cousin. She was wearing scrubs. And then there's this other mom asking her, oh, so you're a nurse? Oh no, I'm a doctor.
Mm,
So what I mean to say is that, they would always sometimes see you as the lower
yeah.
type, unfortunately. So it's like that.
It's a sad reality, and I think it should not. It shouldn't be
Generalized, yeah.
in the church, but
No,
it
it's a
is.
subtle, it's a
It
subtle
is because the
discrimination.
thing is
The
you
truth.
don't why, and there's a reason. I'll talk
Uh-huh.
about like I think it's from our profession, the media,
Mm-hmm.
because you show who's a doctor, starting from who is
Definitely,
Jesus,
yes.
right? Jesus is the
Always
white
white,
dude.
yeah.
And who these old American even shows like Doctor House or I think it's
Mm-hmm.
Scrubs. There was a show Scrubs,
Uh-huh.
and even I think the newer movies. The problem is we have accepted African American community to play lead, but we haven't gotten to that point where an Asian or Middle Eastern could be shown as wealthy, or including Indian. So in the media, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the media,
Yeah.
especially in narratives and storytelling, visual storytelling, even books, right? We have been showing Jesus Christ as a white male. I don't know when it started.
Mm-hmm.
But around the world, mostly churches that are rooted in Western tradition, Jesus is white. Then you see the doctors are white, and people in power are white. We have, I think, accepted as an industry
Mm-hmm.
African Americans being in position of power, but we haven't gotten to the point where you put a Middle Eastern and Indian and Asian
Mm-hmm.
in that kind of power. I think there have been a couple of movies where you have tried, but still, like if you're making a movie Barbie, Barbie's boyfriend has to be white, right? An Asian guy will be second in command or whatever.
Yes, yeah. The support. It's always like the sidekick.
Side. Whereas the demographics are changing. I still remember there was a county, Clinton County, in the middle of Iowa somewhere. I think at the river
Mm-hmm.
going toward Illinois. I mean that was a rural type.
Yeah.
And there were 16 medical doctors. This is like 10, 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
16 medical doctors of Pakistani background,
Okay.
right? But I don't know why there have been comedians making fun of, let's talk about Indian accent or Arabic accent,
Mhm.
because you lived in Kuwait
Mhm.
too. So you always think it's funny when Arabic, they speak from here like
Mhm.
Assalamu alaikum.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Right? And the Indian will chop, I don't know, well, I can't really fully do it, but they will make fun of that. They will always find something negative.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a movie, I forgot the movie's name. The female lead is a politician or someone, and her assistant is like Indian looking guy, dark South, because you've been to India, so you know, like South Indian type guy,
Yeah, darker,
right? And but he doesn't really show that masculinity that we have established in the movies and television, who being masculine is, right? It's so same thing with Asians. It's so different because when you go to Asia, then you see these people blooming there. And then the stupid, I'm calling it stupid thing, this assumption, I don't know from where we got, if someone can't communicate to our understanding in English, they are just stupid. My primary doctor, she's of a Chinese background. I don't know when she moved here, she still has some accent. And do I care about her accent? No, because I think she's one of the finest, and she's an MD, doctors I've met. I have had an Indian doctor, female. I have had an Indian specialist male in a different state. I have had a mixed race. I couldn't tell an African type doctor. Yes, I went to see actually There is one clinic in a different state which specializes in allergies, and I went there, and there was an African doctor, MD, PhD.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that's what I should be worried about rather than his African
Yes.
accent,
Yeah.
right?